The rise of the $1 million home is here. We're going to talk about it on Today in Mortgages. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show where we're talking about what's real, what's hype, and what you should actually be paying attention to out there in the world of mortgage and real estate today. It is Today in Mortgage. I got my co-host, Rich Jefferson, with me here. Rich, we found an article today in Business Market Insider. It says, it says home values have soared so much that the share of houses worth $1 million or more is near an all-time high.
8.2% of all homes nationwide are worth $1 million or more. That's insane.
Yeah.
Talk about an affordability issue.
Yeah, no joke. And obviously not all houses are worth $1 million, but that's a greater share than has ever existed. So tell us kind of where we were several years ago versus now.
Yeah, listen, just personally, I'd never pay $1 million. And a lot of people are feeling that same thing. And maybe it's not $1 million, but maybe it's $600,000, and that house was worth $400,000 just 3 years ago. So then you tackle on the rates, and you wonder why people can't afford to buy homes today.
Yeah, and we talked about just in a previous episode that a lot of people who are not homeowners or have owned their home for a while, or even first-time home buyers, don't realize what homes cost right now. People were off $100,000 or more on what they guessed the median price of a home was. And now we have all these homes, like you said, 8.2% of homes in America, that's almost 1 out of every 10 homes in America that's worth $1 million or more, which is, like you said, just insanity.
Yeah, and there's some states where it's a much higher percentage of all the homes. You know, we're just talking about a national number. But, you know, there are some states where there are 10 or 15% of all homes are selling for $1 million or more. So it's rough out there.
Yeah, it's wild, Rich. And when people hear this, they think, well, the homes are inflated, homes are going to come back down. But you and I have been talking about this, Rich. What's going on that's going to keep houses high right now?
Yeah, I mean, there's just limited inventory. People are, everybody watching this podcast is probably going to say, yeah, I've heard this before, but this is an issue. Look at all the analysts that are talking about this. People are locked into their, 2.75 interest rate. I mean, I just saw a stat yesterday, 92% of all homeowners have a rate below 6%. So right now the going rate is right around 7.25 for a conventional loan. That's not a jumbo loan. A jumbo loan is higher. And jumbo loans are even becoming more scarce today because of the liquidity issues with a lot of the investors that buy jumbo loans. So it's getting tighter with jumbo, but yet home appreciation is still getting up there. So you need a big chunk of cash to buy some of these, $1 million, $1.2 million homes. So that is a particular buyer. And there's just not a lot of them.
It's a particular buyer, Rich, but like you said at the beginning, a lot of people are trying to get into that starter home, and it's still maybe a $400,000 home in certain areas that they can find in the area that they need to be in. And so, yeah, things are a little bit crazy right now, and there just doesn't seem to be an end sight. Like you said, the markets have not been kind to the industry lately, and we are all feeling that. And so we're probably preaching to the choir here. If you're out there listening to this, you're maybe in the industry and you probably know inventory is low, rates are high, home prices are through the roof. But this is just an interesting thing to look at and get some of the numbers behind what the reality is. And when we talked about it last week, it's good to know that a lot of buyers aren't educated on this. And so walking them through this and letting them know ahead of time, and also sitting down and planning with them so that they can make a plan to get to the point to where they can afford these things is something that it's become our job now, right, Rich?
It is, absolutely. And for those of us in the industry, like I'm in my 27th year in this industry, I've never experienced something like this. I've been through tons of ups and downs in the industry. I've never experienced this. This is very particular to, what that COVID period did. And, and lower rates are not going to fix it. Lower rates are likely to make it a little bit worse initially before it gets better, because then it's a little more affordable for a certain percentage of buyers to get in there if the rates are lower. But then hopefully we'll start to see those people that are locked into those low rates. They really do need to buy up or get a bigger home, maybe downsize. And the lower rates would entice them to list their departing property. But man, it's just we have not built enough homes over the last 20 years. That's it.
It's that inventory problem that we keep talking about. And several weeks ago or a couple weeks ago, we talked about some of the incentives that some of the politicians out there are throwing out. And so, I'll link that one below, but you guys know that inventory is low and it's just going to continue to be a problem. So like I said earlier, it's become, Rich, last couple of years, it's been like, how fast can we get these borrowers in and out the door, and how fast can we write their loans? And here at the network, we can do that in 10 days. But now it's kind of, hey, how long can I hold this person's hand to get them to the starting line? And so that's kind of become the job. And that's, what people have to do to keep making loans happen right now, because it's slim pickings out there. And so the best people are sticking with their clients, becoming coaches, having the heart of a teacher, and marketing themselves well to get ahead in their pipeline. So Rich, those are the kind of things we're talking about here, right?
Yeah. Listen, if you're an originator in this business and you pre-approved someone 2-3 months ago and
Yeah.
you haven't requalified them, you need to be holding their hand. You need to be reaching out. That's a tough conversation to have, that they no longer qualify for, whatever that price point was, because of the rates increase. Their affordability is now lower, and you need to give them accurate numbers, because it's so terrible that they finally get under contract and now they can't afford the home that they got under contract because the rates are where they are today. So
Yeah, and you just
coach
got to be
them.
there for them. Got to be there for them, and got to hold their hand through it, and
Exactly.
coach them and keep loving them, and hopefully get them in the right place at the right time further down the line. So, Rich, one of the things I just mentioned is you got to be marketing yourself. So I want to remind everybody out there that's listening that we have a free marketing resource. It is at todayinmortgages.com/marketing, and you can go and check that out. It's completely free. It's 5 ways to get ahead while the market is down, which is what we're talking about today. So go check that out. Download it. It's free, and we want to help you guys out with that. Rich, we haven't done a rating on an article in a while, so I'm going to let you rate this one. How are we doing?
I'm
Even
going to
in the
rate it a
mood to rate
5
an
just
article
because
right
I
now.
hate it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's accurate information. So it's technically
Yeah.
it's a 1 or a 2.
Yeah. And, it's not all doom and gloom out there. We're seeing some good things, and we want to make
There
sure
are.
that you guys continue to keep your heads up and listen to this podcast, get in front of some information, and also be using this to educate your borrowers, your buyers on these same topics. And so go out there and share these things. And even if people aren't in the industry, it's a good listen for them to understand where the markets are. So, Rich, I think we're going to call it a day here. We'll link this article below. You have any final thoughts on this?
And if you're an originator out there, just keep getting after it.
Definitely get after it. And a great place to do that is here at the network where we're at. And if you're interested in knowing anything more about that, last week we launched a brand new U Plus site that's all about making you the best you can be, the best originator that you can be, and getting all the tools that you need to succeed. So, Rich, thanks for checking us out. So go check that out. Rich, thank you so much for being with us today. Everyone out there, thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you next time on Today in Mortgages. Today in Mortgages is produced by Network Funding LP, which is an equal housing lender, NMLS 2297. The content of this program is meant to be a commentary on mortgage and real estate news, and any discussion of rates and or products should not be taken as an individual mortgage or home buying advice or pricing estimates. And any commentary on this show should not be considered a promise to make a loan. All applicants for a loan must qualify, and you should consult a professional regarding your individual loan scenarios for your financial situation. Visit our website at nflp.com/licenses for all state licensing and other legal information.